I said, if you could just go back, if you could do it all over again.
Peace and blessings, and welcome back to Heritage Hip Hop, where we introduce you to your future favorite artists today. But we also celebrate the past, and what is your past actually could be your future, because we're introducing you to something that you may not have known that you need to know. From the left to the right, introduce yourselves to the people.
Big B, Brick Scope, EA all day, Elizabeth Ave, Newark, New Jersey. Brick City, you know we rep it.
Word up. Saying here, EA all day, it's the one and only double S Sha Skillz. You know what I mean?
Alright, with that being said, let's give them some hip hop history and hip hop culture. Now, EA, what is EA and how do you represent it when you make music?
Elizabeth Ave, that's what EA is all about. Elizabeth Ave, Electric Ave.
The jungle.
Straight jungle.
Yeah, many names over the years.
Jungle. Everything got started with us. Well, in my building in particular, Sha was up the hill.
On front of fire, he was on the 440.
From the 440 down to Carmel Towers. It all started with us. The basics. Run DMC, you know, LL, Cold Crush, Super Rhymes. I don't know if Jokers don't know about Super Rhymes, bro.
Yeah,
They don't, you don't hear nobody really talking about Super Rhymes, but anyway, what really got things bending is MC Yamai. People call me Milk.
Yeah.
That's what got us going real heavy to the beatboxing in the hallways on the staircase. I mean, my man Freaka, you interviewed him. He told you all about it. He was part of that. We used to get it in there.
Yeah.
You know, back then I used to master beatbox. They used to come down the hill with the bars and stuff. My man Haas, remember that's back when Haas used to spit a little bit.
Like he said, Haas and Chick.
Yeah.
They thought Rakim was Chick.
Oh yeah, yeah, showed up.
Peace to my man C Hands.
Oh yeah, all day. I'm gonna get you up in here too, boy. But yeah, that's where it all started at right there. Everybody start crafting their thing. You know, shoot, it got to a point to where it's in. I went from banging on walls to spitting a little bit myself. You know what I'm saying?
Big B is causing conflict.
Yes sir. But I mean, the reason why I got into production actually is because the cats that was representing me at the time, they didn't get me in the studio enough. Now I'm hearing music to go with these lyrics. I don't have the music, I can't get to the studio. Started buying my own equipment. You know, first pieces of equipment. Damn, Elise's SR16 drum machine, Casio keyboard. You know, then I upgraded to the ASR10 and it was going, you know. That's about the size of it, man. Getting it in.
So let me ask you something that we're gonna flip to Sha.
Yeah.
Being that you played both sides of the music as a participant in writing and now a participant in making beats, what language do you hear when you create, and is it different from when you're writing and when you're making music?
That's the only benefit I could say I got. Being I used to rhyme, when I make beats, I hear within the melody that I'm creating, whether it's a sample, whether it's original, or whatever the case may be, I hear who's spitting on it, you know? And that kind of like gives me a little advantage, you know, because once I can identify who I can hear spitting on it, then I know where to take the track at to the next level, you know, whether it's horns or whatever, or how I sequence it with a bounce or whatever the case may be. Like I know my man Sha, I know what he like, you know, he like drums. He like melodic drums, you know what I'm saying? So when I hear certain things, put him in mind, you know, and I go from there, you know.
Okay, so let me ask you something. As the MC, and this is something I've asked people many times on Heritage Hip Hop, and they're all giving the same answer, which I don't think they're really answering the question. And that question is, Elizabeth Ave versus 18th versus, let's just say, Roselle Ave. You know what I'm saying?
All right.
What's the different techniques and sounds that you get from the different areas in Newark?
From my perspective, because that's, you know, that's the only way that I can see it from, is that on those different blocks, although we have basically the same type of culture and same things going on, we have our little differences. Every block got their little thing about them that's different. So when you ask me about a sound, and me coming from EA, you know what I'm saying, the sound came from the sandbox down in 440, you know what I'm saying, where y'all lived at, and I'm from the 5. We had this spot called P Floor, and the sound actually come from the way we live. Like Elizabeth Ave just got its own flavor about it. Although it's the same as Bergen, it's the same as Chancellor, but at the same time, it's different. So from my perspective of it, the sound come from the people in the area that we look up to. Like when Freaky was talking, when we talk about Haas, Chick, Aziz, Ali, Dwayne, it come from people that don't even rap. Like, but you know what I'm saying? They was the people out on the block. Like, we all had love for each other. You know what I mean? They might have been people that we was looking up to at that point or whatever. We had a lot of very stylish and unique people come from that area. Like I said, I could only really speak about Elizabeth Ave. They just had a swag about them, a way of life about them, a culture that would just seem like it only derived down there to us that's down there. Because when we go other places, some of them little differences that we carry, we ain't see that there. So I think everybody was highly esteemed about, you know, where they came from. You know what I'm saying?
See, the thing that bothers me about New Jersey is that when people think about New Jersey, they think about this much. Everybody, that's this much hip hop. Because New Jersey has so much. And then being that the books were closed on the story so fast, we got cheated out of a lot of those great stories. I mean, like, for instance, the thing that pisses me off personally about New Jersey is whenever you talk about New Jersey hip hop, everybody references 30 years ago. But from 30 years is a whole adult. So that means there's a lot of things missing from them stories. What do you think is missing that you would want to highlight the most, that you think the world would benefit in knowing that New Jersey contributed this thing to the hip hop culture?
For the most part, and I don't say this to bash nobody or nothing like that, okay? But when you say the underrated, the hidden, it's a lot of the stuff that you hearing out there from some of your favorite artists over in New York, and I'll be the one to say it. A lot of cats ain't gonna say it. I'm him. I'll say it. A lot of your favorite artists, groups, believe me when I tell you, they style derived from the brick. They messed around and they got in that pot, they stirred it up. They seen what was in that pot and they went and they emulated it some type of shape, form, or fashion. You know, I mean, back in the day when I was still spitting, you have showcases over in New York or whatever the case may be, we mash it, kill it. As soon as the judges find out we from Newark, shut us down. Shut us down. I mean, don't get me wrong, it's all love. Much respect to everybody that's out there, but real is real. Even Raekwon mentioned it himself. Wu-Tang got a lot of their swag from Newark. Okay, so real is real. You know, if anybody got a problem with that, see Raekwon. You know, but I mean, hey, one thing I will say though is that one thing that I would say hurt us a lot as far as Jersey is concerned, and I can really speak for Newark in particular, the glue. If you look at other states where hip hop rose up and got prominent, cats stuck together. They stuck together, they promoted each other, they backed each other, you know, they put it behind each other. I used to live out in California for a minute where I went to school at, and when you had groups like NWA or what's the old boy name that's in the Bay Area, E40, cats like that. I was watching them cats come along. I was loving their music because it was a different style of music.
I used to be trying to put us on.
It was a different style of music and everything, you know. But one thing I noticed about them cats, man, yo, it wasn't none of that. Yo, let me get a free CD. Let me get free this. Let me get free that. Jokers was coming out their money supporting them without even thinking twice. You know what I'm saying? They backed their culture. They backed it, and that was a lot of things that went on out there that I noticed that we just didn't have over here. The talent, we had it all day long. Ain't no denying the talent, but just the link of, let's face it, Newark is grimy like that. It's a lot of love here, but it's grimy like that, and cats is used to being dolo on things, doing things for themselves or whatever the case may be. And a lot of people had a tendency of, instead of bigging up the next person, hating on the next person. You know, crab in the basket syndrome. You know, so like I said, I just tell it like it is. I'm 54 years old. I watched hip hop develop in Newark up to the state it's at now. You know, so
We's rocking since the 80s.
Yeah, real talk. Real talk, so.
I can't really say too much different than that. Well, my perspective, you know, I was part of a group that had a Brooklyn MC in it too, so my experience wasn't just all Newark, you know what I'm saying? But it do seem like the aggression from Newark, the stereotype, you know what I mean? It just seemed like a lot of different things played a part, you know what I mean? And us not, you know, I don't want to make no excuses, but it's a lot of dope MCs from Newark that ain't make it. I'm talking about dope where the rappers you know today, they already ran against these cats and like basically know. But for whatever reason, and it could be those people who didn't make it fought, but they ain't make it.
Yeah, I mean, I hear the stories, like, no disrespect to the dead. I know about DMX and Runt Dog.
Yeah.
I know about a lot of things that happened at Essex County College.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? There's a lot of stories, sensations, and all that. There's a lot of stories.
Oh my God, sensations.
Yeah. It's a lot.
My goodness.
I had some great times during that time.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
And I even heard the story about Kanye West meeting Govmatic and him learning how to mix better through Gov. Like, I've heard all these things, you know? And when people talk about Jersey from the outside, they don't understand what Jersey is. See, this is what I say. I think New York has, New York City, not New York State. Let me just put it straight. Mm-hmm. New York City is like the Game of Thrones. Each has their own kingdom, right? And they all have their own slang, terminology, style of dress, and everything. And then when you look at Jersey, it's just like Jersey. And most people from New York think New Jersey is just Newark and the shore. Mm-hmm. They don't know there's pockets.
Yeah,
some
I
people used to go through that.
Crazy pockets.
Some people didn't even know Newark is just a section off as Brooklyn. Mm-hmm. So when you be like North Newark, they're like, what's that? And you be like Hooterville, like, what's a Hooterville?
Yeah.
They don't know any of this stuff, right?
Yep.
So when you document, or when I'm documenting New Jersey hip hop, it's not even a this is who we are. It's more of an appreciation and love letter to who we are, because people don't understand how to love you if they don't learn you. Mm-hmm. What is the number one thing you think somebody should learn about New Jersey before they critique the hip hop that comes from it?
One of the main things I think people should learn about Jersey is the people, period. Because I always tell people the introduction to learning anybody is being able to socialize with the people and understand what's going on. I mean, that's one thing about me I always been blessed with. I can go anywhere and I'm pretty much gonna figure out what's what, who's what, you know, get to know people. That's just me, you know. They have a tendency of talking about a Gemini being two-faced or whatever the case may be. You can call it what you want to call it. You only see my twin when you try and make me believe some bullshit. You know what I'm saying? Other than that, I'm the same cat. Anybody that know me know I'm the same cat, day in and day out. But I will say, getting to know the people getting to know your environment. I'm a chameleon. I'm gonna understand it. I'm gonna understand where I'm at, just so I can get a better understanding of the people, and that's a part of getting what you need to get anyway. You know, but you ain't just gonna meet a group of people or go somewhere or whatever and just get what you want.
Okay.
And not in that environment, not in that atmosphere. You got to get around people and know how people tick. See if they relevant to what you're doing. You know, that's one thing I strongly believe in too. You know, I grew up with a lot of cats where I'm from, down on Elizabeth Avenue. I love them all dearly, but everybody know me. I stay to myself a lot. You know, I got a lot of different things going on. You know, it's a time and place for everything. You know, but when I'm trying to do something, or I'm encountering an endeavor, or whatever the case may be, I have a tendency of circling myself around people that's doing the same thing I'm doing. That keeps that energy flowing. You know, to keep the positivity going. You know, I just don't like to deal with nothing else outside the box when I'm focused on something. You know.
What's up? How you think?
I just think, man, you know, I travel, I've been around. I'm Newark to the end, but I've been other places. To me, man, we all basically be the same, man, with just little differences here and there. And I just think if we just get out of that judgmental phase with everything, where everything is just about over-judging, you'll see, you know, Newark got a lot of fly, real thorough, it's a thorough city.
Yeah,
You know what I'm saying? Like on the positive side too. I ain't talking thorough, just trying to talk the street stuff. You know what I'm saying? I'm talking about thorough and carrying out things righteously as well. So
no doubt about
don't
that.
judge us by the cover. Newark got some fly stuff going. A lot of talented people.
Yeah, man.
I think the
Right.
one thing that holds New Jersey hip hop back is New Jersey government. Because if our economic system is 15 to 20 years behind the rest of the country, that's going to affect the inner city the most. So while people are fighting for the dollar, other people are circulating their dollar and looking at us like we're crazy. And I hate that because there's so much more to us than the dirty Jersey thing. And I always hated that. And our supposed spokesman holds that up and like it kills our look. So I want to get out of that phase of the conversation. Let me just talk some hip hop and then we'll just phase out. I was told that when hip hop really hit Newark though, that's when it bloomed in Jersey. It went from, because I was told in New York people hated on New Jersey because the DJ disappeared and Sugar Hill Gang came out and they held that against Jersey as well. Not to mention other things that went on. So I heard that, but I heard that when certain songs and certain people hit Newark's radar, that's when the city was like, oh, y'all do that? Then let me show you what we can do. I want to know if that was true. I wanted to bring some things up and y'all tell me the impact of it. What was the impact of Run DMC in Newark, New Jersey?
Man, come on, man.
Tell me.
Listen, when Run DMC hit, everybody was walking around with their eyes like cue balls. You understand what I'm saying? Because here it is, we hearing Sugar Hill Gang and we hearing all the beginnings of rap. And then Run DMC just took it to another level. You understand what I'm saying? With their first notable song was Sucker MCs. You know, just to make a record with just a drum track. We lost it. It was ridiculous.
I think they movement, whether it was the machine that was behind them or not, you know, they just came at a time where it was like, this ain't about to be a fad no more. This mainstream, like your mom had to understand, like you wanted some Shelter Adidas now. Like, you wanted a Run DMC sweater, like you know, when Curtis Blow and them was out, you know, it was there, but it
was cool.
They still probably could keep it away from you, but like Run DMC was like the beginning level where like, hey, ain't no stopping this, like, you know what I'm saying? Your child is dealing with this irregardless of whatever the case may be. This is what they rocking with.
This shit is real, man. It's fast. It took over like a sandstorm, and it was just ridiculous how everybody just generated to it. And, like he said, parents
Everybody
couldn't
had no
understand.
shell
Listen,
toes,
my
man,
pops,
with
well,
no
look,
laces.
look, real talk. I always wanted a pair of shell toes. I could never wear them because my feet was too damn wide. I couldn't stand that
CL
shit.
Smooth said, "Look, Mom, no shoelaces."
Yo,
Yeah,
but
I was told for the girls it was New Edition, and for the guys it was Run DMC.
well, you know what? It's all depending on who the chick
'cause
was. Because for a lot
a-
of girls, it was MC Light.
Word.
You know what I'm
Yeah,
saying?
female MCs
Yeah.
had to start emerging.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, so it's all about whether they was girly girls or whether they was B girls at heart or whatever the case may
Depending on
be.
what type of girl.
Yeah, but them girls that rep the block or whatever, that was out chilling or whatever, that was that MC Light.
MC Light and Salt, right?
Yeah. Oh,
Okay,
yeah.
so I got another question, another thing. Now, when I first heard Top Billin', I was on Martin Luther King Boulevard as a little boy. I remember that, and we heard it in the car, and everybody was like, "What the heck is that?" You know what I'm saying? And that
It was that bass. It was that beat, man. That beat was, you wasn't getting
No.
around that.
But one song I heard that actually moved the city that people don't talk about was "Tila Rock Is Yours."
Oh, what?
Man,
Tila
many
Rock,
other songs.
what? It's yours.
People don't
Yeah,
talk-
what?
people don't talk
They used
about
to-
it, though.
used to
Because
kill that.
it may depend on how deep you are with the hip hop.
Yeah,
You
exactly.
understand what I'm saying?
A
Like,
lot of people.
you talking to two cats now who like, listen, bro.
Count, sing,
When
illustrate.
you had Marley Marl on one station, bro, and you had Red Alert on the other station. See, I done forgot the stations now.
Yeah, DLS and
Listen, bro,
98.7
you
kids.
talking to cats who
Yours.
we'll be outside when the rap attack come on, nigga. Ain't nobody outside on the and then when the rap attack over, everybody coming back outside.
With their tape, right?
Cause we stand up to the next day. You know, our hood is like the project. Our mothers, everybody outside all day. You know what I'm saying? So we out there, but we going inside to listen to the rap attack and formulate. I ain't gonna lie, that's how I start formulating my little ideas and all that. Every rapper is a biter from that perspective. Everybody listen to somebody that got, you know,
right.
those little shorties.
That's right. So what we started doing, go listen to Rap Attack, you know, whatever bomb. Got your radio. Now came the era of the pause and record.
That's it.
You understand what I'm saying? So now we catching the best parts of it or whatever, and we pausing it. We loop. Yo, that's when Jokers started freestyling, start making up their own raps. You mimicking other cats. Now you putting your own flavor to it. Next thing you know, Jokers got their own style. The thing about Newark is, you know how New York, you got Brooklyn, Manhattan, Bronx, Queens, whatever. Okay. Newark, everybody would claim that everything in Newark is the same, but you got your certain sections. Everybody had their certain slang. So when people actually started getting noticed for MCing, Hooterville had their own slang, you know. Down the Ironbound section, they had their own slang. We had ours, you know. Everybody had their own slang. It was all depending on, you know, basically what Jokers was into at the time. You know, people had certain things that they said on the block that other people didn't know about. They could say certain things that's only between them or whatever the case. So, I mean, you got different ways that different styles then varied and came up, you know.
All right, well, we're going to get two more questions and then we're going to fade this out. I want to give a shout out to Mike C, C-Wise, Swan Stigger.
Swanee C.
These are names.
You know, Double S gonna shout you out, Swan Stiggity.
These are names that are like ghosts that I want to highlight more as we do history, because I've been asked one time before, why you always do the elders and not do the young people? And I'm just like, I do them both. So that was a dumb question. And another person asked me, why you always do people somebody don't know rather than the people you all know? I was like, because I don't Frank stand. I'm gonna give everybody these shine. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
And with that being said, one of my questions is a comparison. Newark also is a bastion of sound as well as music. So I'm gonna ask you one question as a producer, and then you one question as an MC.
Mm-hmm.
As a producer, when you listen to the overall growth of hip hop, whose fingerprint is more proficient in hip hop to you? Bob James or James Brown?
That's a good ass question. But when it pertains to Newark,
Yeah, Newark.
Bob James.
Okay.
Okay? Because New York raped, and destroyed James Brown. Understand what I'm saying? Newark started tagging on to other things.
Okay.
We started grabbing samples with funky bass lines, getting bass lines and filtering them out, turning them into something different. Funk, you know what I'm saying?
So then what's the one Bob James song you think that really Newark took and just went crazy with?
Well, I'll put it to you like this. And this is for you, Rick, if you looking at this, bro. Okay? Me, I never have been a particular with the name of the album.
Okay.
That's just like with me. When people be like, yo, B, you know how to get to so-and-so? I could take you, but don't ask me for no directions. With me, it was one album in particular with Bob James. It's named the album with the big ass lion head on it.
The Nautilus.
I took that album alone and probably made like about 25 tracks off of it. Probably only 2 or 3 of them I still got to this day. Other ones got lost in the hard drives and stuff, man. But sickening.
So Bob James from Newark, you believe is the one. Cause yeah, we do have a lot of funk and bluesy, type sounds. I mean, think about the Mardi Gras, the Nautilus itself. You got the Taxi theme. There's a lot of things that came out of Bob James that gave a lot of bluesy, a lot of rock, and a lot of acid sounds to the hip hop that we produce. So salute, I appreciate that. So as the MC, I'm gonna ask you. Everybody thinks Newark starts with Redman, right?
Right.
He is the representative. Shout out to Redman.
Shout out to
Much
my
love.
boy
Shout out.
Redman.
Much love.
One of my favorite Newark MCs. People we used to argue about him in high school. Tame. That's one of my favorite MCs of all time. You know what I'm saying? And I talked to my brother, and he told me that there's only 2 MCs that define how hip hop changed in this city. That was Rakim and Nas. How did Rakim and Nas hit you?
I'll give your brother props on that, cause I mean, to me they changed rap. They style, that cadence that Rakim came with is still with. Even any new style that's being made today, it got some of that DNA in it. We all know they had called Nas. Nas one of my favorite MCs, even though I'm older than him and was, I'm just mentioning that to mention that I was rhyming before he even came on, but I still, got mad respect for him. But yeah, they flows changed the game. Like it changed. Like it, people still want that. People be getting mad at them to do the same thing again. Like
when people like Nas, before Nas, KRS-One, Rakim,
Yeah, I asked it based on what you asked, but if I go other than that,
they turned the game in.
KRS and them was before that, like
it ain't about hip hop. You don't stop no more. Okay, all right, let's change this up now. Okay, it's all right to have some party rhymes, but you got to be talking about something. You got to have some type of consciousness going on. You ain't got to be Marcus Garvey or nothing, but I mean, just be relevant. Talk about something that's relevant.
So like you
It
said,
changed the game.
Bob James gave the funk. How did Rakim and Nas make you sit down and really sharpen the pen more?
I told you, cadence wise and flow wise, like Rakim brought a flow that was just like rap. When it could rhyme 4 or 5 different ways now. It's not just a line. Like,
yeah, exactly.
you know what I'm saying? A line could start one way and end somewhere else, but then come back to the line on the. You know what I mean? They the ones started that flowing, like everything just. You know what I mean? Merging into what Kane later evolved with the fresh, finesse, the best, the right. You know what I mean? Then there was a lot of words in it, but it's like KRS and Rakim and them, man, them the ones that like,
Really
you know what I mean? They really showed you like, it was more you could do with this thing, you know what I'm saying, than it just being plain.
Y'all read Rakim's book?
No, I haven't read it.
One of the best reads you'll get.
Oh,
His book and Scarface's book really showed me more to the MC than just somebody writing. Because they always say the pen and pad, but Rakim brought jazz and imagination.
Yeah.
And Scarface actually brought pain and a story.
Pain and stories.
So it was-
big time.
Yeah.
That's what I'm saying. When you want to talk about contribution, I mean, we'll be here all day. Cause
All
like
day.
everybody brings something to the table. But if you
Exactly.
if you try to highlight it, how everybody try to do the top 5s and all this stuff, I mean, it definitely was an era when KRS and the knowledge reigned supreme over nearly everyone. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
And
You know that's right.
Rakim was one of the only ones that, you know, where it wasn't like KRS just absolutely won. You know, by Rakim coming in, it was like, oh, here goes somebody else that could give him a problem. So
Every time you flipped it over,
we
somebody
probably
said
argue all
something
day about who, what, and who did what, but you know, let's just give them all props. Like,
different. All of them.
They
Here go the one thing. What these brothers made people understand, serious MCs anyway. They made them understand that your voice is not just what you're flowing with. Your voice, your tone, and everything could be an instrument. You understand what I'm saying? Along with the music. You know, if you pay attention to even some of the new rappers out here, you know, if you pay attention to some of them have grasped the art of lyricism, where not only do they have the delivery, you know, the cadence, but they've toned their voice, you know, along with the melody of the tune or whatever. I heard one cat that was rapping one time, yo, he wasn't even rocking to the beat. He was rocking to the hi-hats in the track.
That's interesting.
You understand what I'm saying? So I mean, how you said, is so many things you could do with hip hop.
Yeah.
So many different things you could do with it. I always tell people, hip hop can mesh into any genre out here. Other genres can't mesh into hip hop.
That's a fact.
And you know what I'm saying?
And with that being said, I'm gonna just end off with the last question. I want to thank you both for allowing me to interview you. I want to interview you again on my new show, Truth Behind Beats, where we talk to producers about what they hear and how they create. And what it is, I sit with you, we talk about your creative process, and I give you 3 beats, and I want to know what you can make off of 3 different beats. So I like to see how your ear is, you know, developed that way. And of course, I want to introduce you again to the world, because we have a story to tell.
We got a whole lot of stories,
bigger than the camera.
And we gotta make sure it's real. It's a lot of Sha Skillz stories out there that sometimes we do get over sensationalized the hype. So I'm here to
you
set the record
straight. See, that's the one thing I will say before I ask my question is this. Everybody gets the title GOAT and everybody gets the title Legend, which is ridiculous. What I can say about you that's legendary is that everybody has a story, and every story seems to meet at the same point. So I want to connect those dots on camera and give not only one of the heroes that it has that it may not have known of, but I also like to give flowers while people are alive. So while your garden is still blooming, you deserve to know why you have roses, dandelions, and so many other flowers for each little thing that people appreciate of you. So I want to make sure that happens. So now y'all not getting social media, so don't even worry about it, because you know these are true professionals who you have to find. You can't just dial them up. You
come down on the EA, man. Ask for the OG.
So my final question is this, and it's going to be relegated towards you moving forward by recognizing your past. What makes your art great because you started it, And why is it great now that you continue it?
Well, I'll put it to you like this with me. During my come up, I had a lot of responsibility. I wasn't able to focus on music. You understand me? You got a lot of cats out here who was blessed because they didn't have a whole lot of stuff on their plate or whatever the case may be, how you say it. But when you step into that daddy realm and that husband realm and all of that, priority stands precedence, and you got to put things to the side until it's your time. Mm-hmm. Just because you built to do something don't necessarily mean it's your time to shine. Mm-hmm. You understand what I'm saying? It's a time and place for everything. Mine is net 2021, so we gonna do a whole lot of things, man. There's a lot of things going on. That's about all I can tell you on that level.
Okay.
All my babies is done, my babies is grown, my priorities is straight, and yeah, give it a year's time. I'm gonna have to get some more stuff from beating this up.
Yeah, no doubt, no doubt. Saying here, I ain't gonna be corny though and just say the exact same thing, but this talent that we have, I know I could speak for you far as that's how far we go back and everything, so I'm adding you with this, like, this talent that we have, it's a blessing, you know what I mean? It's meant to be used, and like you said, timing does play a part. We had our time back in the day where we did certain things. As far as my personal life, I actually left music and went on a spiritual pursuit, which you met me, my brother, within my spiritual pursuit as well. So everything is about timing, and it seems like right now, even my spiritual pursuit pushed me to, you know what I'm saying, acknowledging this gift and using it, you know what I'm saying, righteously, using it the right way. Whereas when I was younger, come on, man, I had a whole lot of other stuff going on. Mm-hmm. So I wasn't just rhyming, like, I was being considered one of the best, but still was into other stuff, like,
other stuff,
you know, exactly. I'm just one of them adventurous type of people, so.
Exactly.
So with that being said, everybody, just recognize the fact that no matter when you start, it doesn't really mean that's the end of your goal, because the day that you start is great. The more you continue is better, because you're further today than when you were when you started, so don't give up.
Got that right.
Word. And with that being said, this is Karev at Heritage Hip Hop with my two esteemed guests, Big B,
yes sir,
Double S Sha Skillz,
you already know,
EA in the building,
EA all day.
Scope.
And with that being said, we say peace, and we out.
Peace.
Thank you for watching our presentation. We ask that you subscribe to our YouTube family and hit the notification bell for updates. Please like, comment, and share this video.
Real hip hop. Real